Welcome back, everybody. It's been a while, I know, I apologize. My work diary has just been crazy this past month or so. So when we last left off, I was working on the engine and I needed to order some new parts for it. I was going to do the balance shaft delete on it. It took an extra couple of weeks for those parts to arrive. Which wasn't ideal, but it's fine. I'm not in a major rush at the minute. But work has been ongoing in the background this past week or so. I have had a bit of time to get working on the Evo, and as you can probably see behind me, it maybe looks a little bit different to how it did in the first episode, in that it now has doors on it. So a couple of weeks ago, my good friend Alan at RJ's Restorations in Kirkhaven, hey Alan, came over and helped me get the doors back on the car. I have then since completely stripped the doors down. I've set all the panel gaps, so everything's sitting just nice. As you can also see, there's no paint on the doors. I've stripped all the paint off it. That was a horrible job. I'm glad that's behind me now. But the next stage is to get some epoxy primer on these doors. Once these are keyed down, I'm going to key these down with an 80 grit on the DA sander. Once these are ready for epoxy, the whole car, apart from in and around the wheel arches, is going to get another couple of coats of epoxy primer over it. And the reason for that is there's been some filler work has been done just where I've had fitted rear quarter panels on this car and fixed a couple of little dents and stuff on the roof as well. So all that filler needs to be sealed in with an epoxy primer. Epoxy primer, in case you didn't know, is not prone to moisture in the same way that most traditional primers are, which are porous and would take in moisture. Epoxy primer's a bit different in that respect, which is why it's ideal for doing classic car restoration like this. So, like I say, the whole car, apart from the doors, has epoxy primer on it. I have already scuffed down the whole shell where epoxy primer has been applied with a 320 grit. That's ideal for prepping an existing substrate, such as epoxy primer. You would scratch it down with a 240 to 320 grit usually. But for the doors, being bare metal, needs to get a bit more mechanical adhesion, so I'm going to use an 80 grit on the doors and then move on to the next stage, which is Novol's PS polyester spray filler. The spray filler is going to go over the whole car, again obviously except for in and around the wheel arches and on the side and the engine bay. And inside, there's no point putting it on the inside of the car at all. Once the spray filler is on, I will then start doing all the tedious blocking, sanding, all that fun stuff. Then after that, it gets another couple of coats of the anti-corrosion hybrid epoxy to seal that spray filler, because again, same as any other kind of body filler, it's hygroscopic, it's porous, so it can hold moisture. So that once that final barrier is on the car, then I can move forward and get some color on the car, which I'm really looking forward to doing. I'm kind of sick of seeing this grey color. yeah, so for now, gonna crack on with prepping these doors, and we'll then clean everything down. Gonna hoover out all the little pockets inside the doors. I'm gonna blow everything out with the Airline, make sure there's no little pockets of dust hiding anywhere, and then clean everything down with, I have a water based and a solvent based panel wipe after that. Then that's ready to go after that. Let's get cracking. Okay, now that that's done, the next thing I need to do is take these doors off, but I'm not going to film that because nobody needs to watch 15-20 minutes of me fumbling around trying to manhandle doors off the car by myself. So I'm just going to do this. Ta-da! Just like that. No more doors. So like I said, I'm going to give the whole car a good clean down now. I'm going to hoover everything out. I'm going to run the Airline through it, make sure there's no little pockets of trapped dust that can catch us out later on. And then start giving everything a good clean down with the panel wipes. So first things first, let me go and get my hoover. Good old Henry the Hoover. Right, here we go. Voila, all done. So the next thing I'm going to do is run the Airline over the car and make sure that there's no dust trapped anywhere. But before I do that, I just want to take a minute or two to explain why this step is so important. I know it's very tempting to skimp on this part of the project because it's incredibly boring. There's no other way of putting it. But it is absolutely vital to the restoration process. It's also very important to keep your work area as clean as possible as well. Obviously, the cleaner your car, the cleaner your work area, the cleaner your paint job's going to be. It's as simple as that. And before you even start, it's very important to create the right environment for your restoration. before any restoration work begins, attention should be given to the workspace itself. Regardless of the size of the workshop, maintaining a clean, organised and well-lit environment will improve efficiency. It'll reduce mistakes and help protect restored components from unnecessary damage. During this restoration, considerable effort was invested in creating a workspace capable of supporting high quality refinishing work. Cleanliness became a routine rather than an occasional task, with each stage of the restoration beginning only after the workshop had been prepared. A tidy workshop not only makes the job easier, it encourages a more methodical approach. When tools are organised and materials are readily accessible, attention can remain focused on the quality of the work rather than searching around the workshop for equipment or working around unnecessary clutter. So it is very important that you do this stage and not skip it. So I'm going to fire up the compressor and run the Airline around this thing. Okay, that's that done. I seem to have got most of it with the Hoover in the first place. I don't know if you could see it on camera, there was some dust trapped in the car. So I'm going to give the car another once over with the Hoover just to be thorough. That'll pick up any heavier stuff that isn't just dust. There shouldn't be very much though, but I did see a few little bits that I don't want to leave in there. So I'll do that next. I'm not going to film it, and then I'll move on to getting the car all cleaned down with the panel wipe in the next episode, prior to when I start actually spraying. I think that's probably enough for this evening, so I'm just going to leave it there. But I just want to say thanks for sticking with me. I'm sorry about the wait time between episodes. I do run my own business. I'm a car detailer by trade. I'm just extremely busy. But I do still manage to find a few hours a week, usually, to get out here in the workshop and get working on this thing. I would really like to see a lot more progress before the summer is out. And there's plenty more content still to come, so stick with me. If you wouldn't mind giving the channel a subscribe if you haven't already, give the episode a like, drop me a wee message in the comments, let me know what you thought of the episode, what you would like to see covered. If there's an aspect of restoration that you're particularly interested in, that you would like to know more about, just drop me a message below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. So that's all for now, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye for now.